Okay. After I filmed, I realized I left the temperature sensor out of the video. So before I get to the other connectors, this harness, this is the temperature sender wiring harness that goes under the hood of the truck. These plastic rivets mount to the roof of your hood, and eventually it goes to a temperature sender. The bracket. This is another thing I had an issue finding. I had, along with the sun visors, I also had such a hard time finding out where this mounts. And I actually made a video on this a while back, but when I get close to finishing up with the video of the project, I'll just do it again, and I'll make it a lot less wordy this time than last time. So these are two wires that, like I said earlier, like the color of these wires don't match the wires that power the bus system for the computer, but somehow it feeds into the bus system, and then eventually goes to the computer for display. I know that yeah, I don't know what I was going to say, but eventually this hooks into the hood. I spray painted this the same color as my truck because I don't really know why. The top of this was rusted a little bit, so I wanted to paint over that to make it look nice. I'm not going to use the Chrysler screws as I was hoping to, because it's just simply too hard to find. But when I mount it, it should be like this, where this end sticks out further, where it clears the radiator. And the way I found out about this is that I had to look at 10 different project videos, and the one I finally found that showed the temperature sender, they didn't explicitly talk about it, but I had to look at a video with the grill assembly replacement, and the truck that they were working on happened to have the computer. If they don't have the computer, they're not going to have the sensor. So I'll stop playing with that. So I'll grab out the harness. This is, you got a series of wires on this connector, and just as a side note, this connector is also very hard to get out, which is part of why I'm wanting to cut and splice it. That way I guess I'll have extra harness to work with. I'll have extra harness left over. But there's a tab here that you have to press down on, and it's easier said than done because it's not like it's a very open spot, like, especially since I'm larger. It's a lot harder for me to get under the dash of this truck and get it. I did get it once or twice, but I don't want to do that again. The old harness has a bunch of marks on it from when I tried to get it out. So this I'm going to say what I know for sure. So this black with the yellow stripe is your running lights. We will not be using that because I already have cab marker lights from the wireless cab marker lights from Cab Over America. This yellow wire is your power switch. So when you have your overhead console lights, when you press it, the yellow wire will contribute to that, and you could turn it on and off. I don't think I picked the best spot to do this. There we go. So this is where the two connectors are combined. You got as I said earlier, the white with the black stripe, and the purple or violet with the brown stripe is your bus wires, your Chrysler collision detection bus. Why Chrysler call it that I don't really know, but every corporation has their own name for their bus system. Like boats call it NMEA or NMEA 2000. This just happens to be called Chrysler Collision Detection. This is your security system wire that feeds into this connector. Feeds in here. So let's see. Okay, this pink wire is the power for your dome lights. If it doesn't have any stripes, which I don't think it does. So this is the power for your dome lights. Even the generic harness for just the dome lights have that as well. So that's how I know that. I think this is one of the wires that go to your auto dimming rear view mirror. And this, the black with the green stripe is your ground. This is also in the generic harness for just the dome lights without the computer. And I believe that this blue with the white stripe, don't quote me on this, but I believe this is all your key-on ignition power, your fused key-on ignition power. The yellow wire, as I said earlier, is your clicker, your wire for the clickers for when you turn it on and off. And I don't think, okay, so this is another black wire, but this isn't the security system one. I believe this is the ground for your, your wires for the light bulbs for your roof marker lights. Again, I won't be using it at this point. Take it off this tripod. So I think that's pretty much about it. Somehow Chrysler already has all these wires set up for you. Given that you have all this is already set up for you. All I have to do is just find these connectors, connect them into here, and somehow they distribute the ground wires for all 5 of these, for all 5 of those connectors. So that should be a good background cover. I don't know if I needed to make that part of the video, but I did it just for the heck of it. So we'll do.